I'll chop that part out. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hi, Leah. Welcome. How are you today?
Hi, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I'd like to thank you for coming in today and meeting with me for this first session and starting the opportunity to get to know each other a little bit. Before we get started on anything, I'd briefly like to just go over some confidentiality with you. Have you ever heard of confidentiality before?
Kind of like lawyers?
Um, a little bit, more so like everything we say in the session stays between you and I. Um, there are a few instances in which other parties would have to be involved, and that would only be in the case of self-harm to yourself, harm to an elderly or a child for child abuse. Um, and outside of those circumstances, everything would stay between us or with a signed consent form from yourself. Do you have any questions on any of that? Does that make sense for you?
No, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, at any time, if you have any questions or you'd like to retouch on that, feel free to ask and we can definitely go over that again. Sounds good?
Yep, okay.
Okay. Um, now what brought you in here today?
Well, my family kind of pressured me into getting a session. They think I have a problem with drugs, but I'm honestly just smoking weed. It's not like I'm doing anything harder than that, and I don't see what the big deal is.
Okay. Okay. So your family has referred you and they see a problem with your use. However, your feelings aren't really aligned with theirs on that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't see what the big deal is. Everyone smokes weed.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, now could you explain to me a little bit about your history of use when you first started?
Probably started smoking weed around 16.
Okay.
Very occasionally. And then now more so like once COVID happened and everyone was home, uh, I became a very chronic user, like 3 or 4 times a day, every day.
Okay. Now, would that use still continue to be 3 to 4 times a day right now, or has that changed at all for you?
Um, it's the same more or less, but sometimes it's higher. Depends on how I'm feeling that day.
Okay. Okay. So what I hear is that your substance use with marijuana, it started out quite slow, but as COVID happened and, we were more quarantined to stay at home, your use picked up a little bit and it's stayed steady across that line up until now, until we're speaking today. Do I have that correctly?
Yeah, I would agree with that statement.
Yeah, okay. Now, what would you say you typically use substances for? Is it stress, coping, boredom?
Honest, probably stress and boredom the most. Like boredom is really where it started, like I said, with quarantining and COVID and the stress of a new job and like losing someone really important to me. They passed away. Weed became a way, I guess coping too then. Weed became a way to just feel mellow in a chaos storm, basically.
Okay, yeah, kind of shut down some of those intrusive feelings and racing thoughts. Okay. Now, have you ever experienced the same sort of relief that you experience from smoking weed with any other activities?
I used to run a lot. I used to go to the gym a lot, and running was really good for when you're angry, when you're whatever, you just take it out on a nice, hard, long run. But I don't do much of that anymore now. I kind of just veg.
Okay, stick to more smoking weed now. Now, when would you say the pattern of um, stopping running and the physical activities for release of stress or coping, when would you say that pattern kind of stopped or maybe took a turn to directly more so the marijuana?
I think towards the end of COVID, when I lost my grandfather, it was really hard.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't want to leave the house, and
Yeah,
it was right there, right? So it's a lot easier.
absolutely. So I hear a few things tying in there, the loss of your grandfather, as well as, um, wanting to stay cooped up at home and not really go out into the world and society. Okay, now um I would like to ask, what would your life look like if you were to imagine your life without marijuana? What would that look like in sense of relationships, coping skills, um, things like that?
Um, it might. I'm not sure. I guess smoking, now that I smoke so much and I'm home a lot, I don't really go out because I can't really drive when you're when I'm stoned. I don't do that. So I guess I see a lot of my friends less, and my family less. So I feel like if maybe that stopped, you probably would be able to go out more, maybe.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And did you find prior to your grandfather passing away and COVID happening that you spent a lot more time with your friends and family?
Yeah, I'm a very outgoing person, so usually I'd have plans every weekend, maybe even after work on some days. But yeah, now that kind of just
Okay.
I'm kind of more of a homebody.
Yeah, yeah, that direction's kind of changed a bit. Now, if you could reflect on your stress levels, your um, stress management from prior to COVID and your grandfather dying and being around people more to now and being more isolated, can you say you see a change within that?
Like a change in myself, or
Um,
sorry, can you clarify?
that's okay. A change within your emotional well-being.
Um, yeah, I don't really feel a lot of feelings anymore. The weed kind of just makes me numb, and I that's what I like about it. I don't want to feel the pain, the grief, things like that. So it's more of a, guess, coping skill
Okay. And when you were
or
around
lack of.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that. When you were around your friends and family more, did you find that there was less need for coping and to shut down those feelings?
Yes and no. Yes, like with friends and family is great, but family can be hard too, right? And it can be a very stress point for me as well. A little chaotic family.
Absolutely. I can hear that for sure. Sometimes family can, you know, bring us up and other times not so much. I can hear that. Um, Now, with that all being said, and you've stated that you used to spend a lot more time with family and friends prior and now more so alone. Um, would you say that this has affected the quality of relationships that you have with your friends and family?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you stop going out with your friends a lot, you kind of stop getting those invites to go out anyway, because they know you're going to say no or bail on them.
Mm.
So that's kind of been happening lately. And then my family, they try to see me. They want me to be around, but I very much am kind of avoidant. It's hard.
Mhm. I hear that. And how does it make you feel to not receive those invites from friends or family anymore?
Um, a little sad, a little lonely, but also I kind of get it.
For sure. So it kind of sounds to me like a little bit of a cycle of this, isolation and, and feeling lonely and then using to numb those thoughts and feelings. Do I have that right?
Yeah, I guess I
Yeah.
would say that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, would this be an area of your life that, you know, you'd be willing to want to improve those relationships, wanting to work to improve those relationships?
Very much so. Like I love my family and I love my friends and I I want to be better for them, but I also don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. Like a lot of people smoke weed all the time.
Mhm.
I don't feel like it's that big of a problem that they're making it out to be. So that also just puts a little anger, I guess, and angst towards them.
For sure. Could you explain to me a little bit about um, what the issue that your family is seeing within your use that you aren't really seeing?
Well, they think that I smoke too much weed, that I'm constantly under quote unquote an influence. Um, and that, I'm really not preparing myself for my future. I mean, I don't understand that because I pay all my bills, but they seem to think that just because I'm paying my bills is not enough. I'll need to plan for other things. And then with my friends, it's hard because a lot of them, they want to go out and do things. And I'm spending a lot of my recreational money, I guess, outside of necessities on marijuana. I smoke a lot. It's gone to the point where my tolerance is very high. So
Right.
I don't.
Mhm. So some financial insecurities on your family's behalf, I hear. Um, now, now I hear you say you pay all of your bills. However, you sometimes don't have some extra money to go out with your friends to those invites that they may invite you to, which can result in having that sadness and circling back to that. Now, having extra money to go out and do things if you were asked, or if you just wanted to, is that something that is important to you?
I mean, yeah, I guess. Like I do want to keep those people in my life, but I also really enjoy smoking weed. It's very much
Mhm.
I don't know how to explain it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now, if there was one thing in your life that you would be willing to change or work on changing, um, could you
Mm.
tell me what that is? If there's one thing.
No, I think it would be reconnecting with the people in my life. I feel very alone lately,
Mhm.
and it just kind of sucks. Like I do live pretty far away from my family too, so I don't get to see them as often. So having that support system here is wonderful. So I think, yeah, repairing or maintaining my friendships would be important to me.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I hear that um your use of marijuana, it um it is a not as much of a problem that you can see within yourself. However, your family has have some concerns about it, referring you here, pushing you, making you come in with me today and speaking with me, which I would like to thank you for doing. And coming out of your comfort zone and being a little bit vulnerable. I know that can be difficult. So thank you. And I encourage you to continue to do this. Now, since over our conversation, I hear that, your family has some concerns with your use, as well as, your recreation and your friends. You don't spend as much time with them as you'd like to, which is causing some sadness and loneliness within your life. And then on top of that, your finances, you have your bills paid on time. However, with the amounts that you're spending, because your tolerance has become so high, you don't really have a lot of extra money freeing around to go out and do some of these extra activities that you would enjoy doing and you have enjoyed doing in the past. Um, Now, when I asked you about one thing that you'd be willing to change, it would be to work on those relationships. Now, is there one thing, you mentioned that your family is far away, living far away. Um, are phone calls a type of communication that you use frequently?
No, not really. I have a lot of anxiety around that, but I think maybe I don't know. I'm more of a texter, but
For sure, sure. And communication looks different for everyone, right? Some people are more face to face, over the phone, or texting and emailing as well. Um, have you been, is this the first time you've ever thought about, wanting or maybe making a change in your relationships with your family and maybe having rebuilding that relationship to be stronger?
no, I've thought about it before. I've tried I've tried quitting before. I've tried um pushing myself to just quit cold turkey and I end up just right back where I'm going. I've done that 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Yeah. Dropping it, not because you want to, but because of the people around you pushing you and making you believe that that's what you need to do for these relationships. Um, Now, because that is what they want, I'd like to ask you, what what would look, or if I could ask you, what would be the perfect life for you? If you saw your life perfectly or in front of you, what would that look like? Could you tell me that?
Um, oh, that's a hard question.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like I would be closer to my family, both in emotionally and proximity. I don't like being as far. We were a really close family when I was growing up, so it's quite lonely being about 8 hours away from them.
Mhm.
Um, I would definitely have more friends and going out more. I used to be very much a social person. Maybe find a partner, settle down one day, get married, have kids. I don't know.
Mhm. Mhm. And when you explained your perfect life to me there, Leah, one thing I noticed that you didn't involve was your use of marijuana. But the what I did notice is the closeness of your family and friends and um, that sense of connection. Now, um, what emotions or feelings get brought up when you think of changing your your use or changing not only just your use but changing your relationships with your family and those around you to become closer.
A lot of stress, anxiety that, maybe it's too late, embarrassment that it's been so long. I don't know, I think about it and then I go, oh,
Mhm.
would they accept me back? Or
Mhm.
have I gone too far?
Mhm. So, quite a few emotions come up there, some sadness and some fear of rejection, I hear, and them not accepting you back. Now, would this be something that you'd be willing to work on with me moving forward and creating some goals together to try and bring that connection back and meanwhile trying to eliminate some of those anxieties and stressors around the fact of getting connected with your family again.
Definitely, I think that's probably my top priority or what I want eventually. I just don't really know where to start or how to go about it, and the anxiety and stress just makes me want to smoke more weed. I can see the
Mhm.
cycle, yes, but
Absolutely. Okay. Now, could we say a goal for us would be to continue to meeting and working on reducing some of these stressors and anxieties that lie around getting reconnected with your family? Would that be something you're interested in?
yeah, I would be open to it.
Okay, great. Great. Now, it has been wonderful talking with you during this time, Leah, and we've got some great things covered, some wonderful background information, and also a plan moving forward and continuing to connect and work on reducing some of those anxieties. Um, we can book a session at the end of this and at the front of my reception. Thank you.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
How do I stop it?